Come join us for the Tactical Insight Show right here on AFTV, where we break down the 4-1 win against Leeds.
Yeah, and we'll be looking at how Arsenal did break down a very resilient Leeds team on Saturday. We'll also be looking at the two key midfielders in the two teams battling for the Premier League this season, Martin Odegaard and De Bruyne. Some interesting stats there. There'll be a few Tottenham stats thrown in inevitably, and also the wonderful performance of Gabriel Jesus. Look out for the way we break down his performance.
Come join us.
What's going on, people? Welcome back to AFTV and welcome back to another AFTV Live. A special one today, 3 guests on the show. Laurie Liverpool to my right, welcome, good.
What are you saying, bro?
And I see people in the comments saying, by the way, the Liverpool fan doesn't have a name. Is it AGT or Doyle? No, it's not. It's my friend Moses. Moses, what we saying?
Yo, all good, man. All good.
Yeah, little pause.
Thank you.
No, little pause. No, listen.
No, it's not often we have fans from opposing teams on the live show, so big up Moses, man. He's
Appreciate
a brave
you guys.
man for coming in.
But like the sign behind me, I'm thinking, yo, what am I signing up to? What am I fearing right now?
No, we're all good. We're all good. Moses is a very, he's a very equal Liverpool fan. He's very, he speaks on football very well. The reason why I brought him in, he's a good friend of mine. I think maybe people know I used to play football quite to a good enough level. Moses also played to a very...
We were all right.
We was at a good level.
Ain't we much?
No, it was good.
Now, don't be so modest, man. Tell the people.
Okay, yeah, we
You
did
guys
all right.
were
We did all
ballers.
right.
You guys were ballers, man.
Yeah, no, played
Put some
professionally.
respect on them man's name.
Played for some clubs. Big clubs, obviously not Premier level, but we played at some big clubs at a good level. And he's a good friend of mine, a big Liverpool fan. And like I said, I know he's like a level-headed fan. He'll have a good opinion on Liverpool. And I think in this live,
And that's rare, isn't it?
It is.
A level-headed Liverpool.
Yeah, AGT, Doyle. Yeah, to be fair, you
No,
might be
Doyle's
right.
all right. It's just AGT. Yeah.
Big up Alex. But yeah, so I thought I'd bring him on. Obviously, we're going to get through a lot of the Arsenal news that's kind of dropped today before we get into, the Liverpool talk that we've obviously taken him on Sunday. But first I'll run through some of the bits you're going to hear from today's show. Yesterday, it was Youth Cup. Me and Moses will talk about Youth Cup as well, because it was a massive night for both of us. I mean, when you're a young player, academy player, it's one of the biggest nights you have when you're young. But obviously, Arsenal went through to the final yesterday. We'll get into what happened there. We'll speak about Reece Nelson. I don't know if you guys seen Fabrizio Romano today talking about a contract extension for him, which, it's something we can talk over. Is it needed? Is it justified? Are people happy with it? We'll get to that. And then we'll talk about our run-in towards the end of the Premier League title. Can we do it? Some of the stats that favour us. And then lastly, it will be Liverpool talk for the last 20 to 30 minutes with Moses as well, just discussing everything around that game. And should they fear us? Does he fear us? Do we fear them?
Boy.
We'll get to that in a little bit.
We will.
You'll realise that, yesterday I was on the live with Turkish, today I'm on the live again. The boys are currently up at Anfield filming previews. So the likes of Turkish, Robbie and James, you'll see all the content coming out probably from today and tomorrow and Friday. So look out for all the content coming your way, the usual box-to-box previews, maybe some extra added content as well. Arts of Fans is back as well. We've got a special, not one to miss, by the way. A lot of arguments and debates. We had a special guest in that as well. So look out for that coming your way before the game. All the content's going to be superb. And yeah, that's that. Let's just quickly start with, the Hale End. We've got a youth team. We've got a youth team doing very well. The first team doing very well. The women's team are doing very well. But yesterday they played Man City. If you weren't aware, they beat them 2-1, Laurie, in the semi-final. They're into the final, Arsenal. They're either going to play, I believe it's West Ham or Southampton on the 20. I'm getting this to the top of my head. 26th of April, I believe the final is. It's going to be either one of those two. But a big night for them. Last minute winner, from Miles Lewis Skelly.
Sounds familiar, eh?
Last minute winner, from a Halen boy. Mad. Last minute winner, made it 2-1. They also got a last minute winner against Cambridge the round before. So it's becoming a sort of regular theme under Jack Wilshere as obviously their manager for the youth team. But it's a very good sign. It's exciting. And Moses, obviously I don't know how far you got in Youth Cup when you was at Barnet and
First round.
I'm laughing, but my Youth Cup journey wasn't great either. I think we got to the 3rd round at one stage. Was that 3rd round? No, actually the 2nd round wouldn't be 3rd. 3rd would be like Premier League clubs. We played Dagenham, Redbridge, Woking, and then it was supposed to be like Norwich and the Murphy.
Quick story
Twins.
about the Youth Cup. Scully, who manages the AFTV FC team, he once played in the Youth Cup final. He was a goalkeeper for Watford. And do you know who he was up against in that final?
Who?
None other than a certain Gaza. I was at that game, actually.
Wow. Is it? Serious?
Yeah, well, this is way back. It's a sort of indication of how old I am. But it's 80s, put it that way. But yeah, Scully was in goal. He actually got man of the match in the first leg. He was outstanding. But Gaza, in the second leg, there was him, a guy called Joe Allen as well was playing that day, a few other guys. It's a good game.
Not the Joe Allen that we know though, right?
No,
This Joe Allen.
Different time.
Yeah.
different age, different category.
Different era.
Different era.
But yeah, that was the
colour
last
screens
time
and
I
that.
actually went to a youth cup final. It was to watch my cousin Scully playing it.
I reckon, I'm sure we'll go if it's Arsenal.
Yeah,
We'll
let's
go
do
to
it,
this
man.
next one.
Yeah, let's
I'm
do it.
definitely going to be there. Obviously, I work with young youth players as well with my company. So, yeah, man, listen, it'll be amazing. It'll be an amazing experience and day out for them. And a lot of youth cup winning teams go on to normally sign professional contracts.
Yeah, for sure.
I've seen clubs that once they won the youth cup, they all get pro deals. You may not see them in the first team, but they get awarded and gifted with pro deals. That's what I remember of some youth cup winners back in the day. So big up to them. Massive,
It's pleased
massive
to see
night.
Jack Wilshere doing well in this role.
Exactly
That's
that
true.
as well.
Yeah.
Jack Wilshere as well.
And I would also say success breeds success because they're doing well. Obviously, the first team's doing well, but the women's team doing very well also.
100%.
So the whole culture right now is geared towards success.
Must be nice, man.
Must be nice. I know, Mo's a lot.
Nice, man.
The first half is going to be very much Arsenal news.
No,
I
it's
know.
cool, man.
Just-
I'm here to, you know.
Just take it in. And
I'm taking
enjoy
it in.
Yeah,
I'm taking it
fair
in,
enough.
you know.
Fair enough. The next thing I want to quickly just bring up is the Reece Nelson extension. I'll speak with Laurie quickly on this as well. Is happy with that. His contract runs out in June this year, and they're looking to extend it. There's negotiations going on with him right now. How do you feel about that? Obviously, on the
No, I
back
think
of that
he's earned
Bournemouth
it. I
last
think
minute
he's
winner.
earned it. I mean, everyone's going to look at that goal he scored against Bournemouth and say that probably clinched it. Now, that may or may not be true, but the word on the street is he works very hard. He's impressed in training. He was out on loan a couple of times.
Yeah.
He did well at PSV, didn't he?
Yeah.
He come
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
And establishing himself as a squad player. So yeah, go for it.
I can't lie, watching him, especially against Bournemouth, that winning goal. Every time he's played for Arsenal, he's done well when he's come on.
Yeah.
And obviously his big boots to fill, especially in the position that he's playing.
Word,
You've
he's
got
Saka's
Saka playing
replacement.
there,
Yeah.
Martinelli sometimes on
Yeah,
the other
yeah.
side. So it's a tough role to come into as well. So
And Reece Nelson, he was the most spoken about from Hale End when he was coming through.
Yeah, you know, I heard stories about he was supposed to be the prodigy, wasn't he?
Yeah,
The next big thing.
100%.
And I think he'd suffered from injuries and wanted to loss of form and things like that. Hadn't quite worked out for him, but from what I hear, some reliable sources, is that he's gone away and worked hard at his game. He's impressed when he's gone out on loans, come back to Arsenal, put the work in,
Yeah.
and now he's been rewarded with a contract. So,
the
fair
extension. It
play.
hasn't been done yet, but they're going to negotiations. I love the reliable sources talk as well. You know, we all have our own little sources that we trust. But yeah, listen, I mean, what would you be happy with just a year extension, or does he deserve a bit more than that? Because think about it, there's going to be a lot of competition
There is.
for him. We're going to be potentially in Champions. Listen, mathematically, it's still meant to happen, but it's looking like we're going to be in Champions League football next season. Will Reece feature? Is he going to be, one of those players that will be a squad depth player? Will he be the second to Saka? That's the question. Would you give him more than 1 year extension? I don't know
would.
how long it roughly will
Well,
be.
you just heard Moses say that every time he's appeared for Arsenal, he's done well. It's not just the
not
wonder
Forest
goal
come on and
against
score too.
Bournemouth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's played well. And as I was saying, word on the street is he's impressed in training. He's got very good attitude, worked hard, and deserves his contract. So yeah, fair play to him.
Fair enough. Listen, we have to just big up there Reece Nelson as well, man. I've got to give him a lot of respect and credit because he's come in under a lot of pressure and he's very composed all the time. It's like Mo said as well, the level doesn't really drop when he comes in. He's a good player. Fair play to him. It'd be good to see him sign an extension and I
And
like
not
him
only
as a
that,
player.
if I could just say,
Go on.
with Arsenal, you don't really want to lose a guy like that. It's been at Arsenal since he was a ridiculously young age. Come through the system. You let him go and then he goes on to do big things elsewhere. It's not going to look too good, is it? Because I did hear that Palace were interested in him.
In Reece Nelson, yeah.
There was talk that Palace
I could
were,
see that though, to be fair.
Yeah.
He's a South London boy as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they're taking a
would've
lot
made
of our,
some
they're
sense.
taking a lot of our players. I know
Yeah.
Lokonga's on loan.
Yeah.
I know they were interested in Eddie and Nketiah at one
They
stage.
were, yeah.
They're trying to bring in the man from our HLM boys, but let's just chill out apart from Lokonga. Yeah, let's just chill. We want to hold on to our talent. Right, people, this is the next kind of step I want to talk about is 72 points. Yeah, I know this is gonna pain you a little bit.
No, do what you're doing, bro.
Yeah,
It's calm, bro.
I have to talk about this. I saw like 72 points top of Premier League. I saw this stat. Yeah, the Premier League points after 29 games played for City in the last 10 years. Yeah, I mean, it should be coming up on your screen. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna read through some of the results. So just bear with me here. So last season, 70 points at this stage of the Premier League season. They're on 70 points. We're currently on 72. I'm going to remind you that. I'm going to show you the Premier League table afterwards. The year before, 68. The year before, 60. 18, 19, they're on 71. So 1 point we're ahead of them currently this season. 17, 18 season, what you'll see there, you'll see a little asterisk by the 78 points. That was when City hit the Centurion year, okay? 16, 17 season, 58 points. 15, 16, 51 points. 14, 15 is 58 points, I believe. The 13, 14 is 64. And the 12 of 13 is 62 points. Please, listen, I'm not really a stat man. I don't love it. I know James, it's more his thing. That is more his thing, I'll be honest, and he's very good at it. But for me, seeing that, yes, we can still bottle it, as many say, but after 29 games, we're on 72 points. The only Man City team to beat that was the Centurions, which is mad to think. Let's be real. After all the seasons of you and City going back and forth,
Yep.
Arsenal must be doing something right with a young manager, young team. That's kind of mad to say. I do want to bring up the Premier League table just so people can just ponder on that now. Whilst you speak, Moses.
But I just feel like, not to be devil's advocate, but to be devil's advocate, right? You have Man City just behind you,
Yeah. Okay.
right? And being a Liverpool fan, I've experienced that. When we were about 8-10 points clear at one stage, right? And then we had 5 or 6 games left of the season, and we bottled it. I'm not saying that you guys are going to bottle it, but are you confident right now that you guys, the trajectory that you're on, that you will get the business done?
I'm gonna swing that right over here.
No, listen, I'm happy.
I got after the question.
I'm happy for me to start on that. I'm very confident, bro. I am. I've been saying it for a while. Cecil will attest to this.
Yep.
I've been saying, and Cecil's cautioned me against using those terms. It's ours to lose. I genuinely do think that. I mean, listen. Okay, so you talked about the 72 points and all the rest of it, but as we've always been told, the league don't lie. You know what I mean? We're 8 points clear. Yes, City got a game in hand, but we are not only top of the league, we're also playing the best football right now.
That's true. That's true.
And if you look at the whole energy, I mean, I spoke earlier on about success breeding success. If you look at the vibe, the energy around the place at the moment, everything is positive. And even when we've had little blips, we've bounced back straight away. Even when we've had injuries, it's not been too detrimental because the guys that have come in have done a good job. Listen, man, I'm not saying it's as good as done, but what I am saying, yeah, I'm very confident. That being said, you do have to pay respect to the opposition, namely City. Very good team, very good manager, very good players. We know that.
Yep.
But I honestly feel that this is our year, man.
I'll give you some props as well, because the 2015, 2016 season, you guys remember, I think it was Leicester you played at Christmas.
Yeah.
And you beat them, you thought, we're good to go.
Yeah.
And then got to Jan and it kind of dropped off. But I always said to all my Arsenal friends that if you lot are still top Feb, I'll believe it, kind of thing. And then you guys just carried on going. So I don't really want to give you guys too many props in it, because I know what Arsenal fans are like. Yeah. Because you guys are very you're proud Arsenal fans, pride of London, all that stuff. Yeah. And I know that if the Premier League comes back to the Emirates, essentially, we're not going to hear the end of it. Bro, we're not going to hear the end of it.
Will never be the same. The streets will be mad, and it's time now to kind of get into that talk.
No, but if I could just answer that question. You say that, and for a while there will be that, I'm sure. Everyone will get carried away, so this greatest Arsenal team, this, that. But then the natural order of things is things will settle down, because not being funny, I remember when you guys won the league back in 2020, it was the same then. I think in hindsight, it was a little unfortunate for you guys because you won it in that COVID season when the fans were in the crowd.
Everyone says an asterisk by that title.
Yeah. So maybe you didn't get to enjoy it as much as you should have done. So I do get that. But listen, man, the way football works, especially in this country, is a very fast turnaround. So if we do win the league, which I think we have an excellent chance of doing so, you're talking about May, and then you got the summer, and then you're back into it. Well, actually, I say the summer, but the season will start August, and you're back in it again.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, no, I hear it. I am confident as well. I know I did dodge the question and lean back because about the league, but
you lean back like Fat Joe.
Big time lean back. But yeah, I am confident about the league, and I think people were aware of that. I mean, I printed a T-shirt at Christmas, which I'm sure many people saw.
I've screenshotted that picture just in case.
Don't worry,
just in case.
Everyone has.
You never know.
You never know.
You never know.
I'm aware though, game by game, there's still a long like it's 9 games. There's still a long way to go to say, you know, we're definitely going to do it. So I am cautious, but I'm confident inside. I believe in them, and I think most fans are on that wavelength as well, especially when I speak to them. But it's time to get into the chat. Let's get straight into it. Would you take a draw now?
Yes.
Yes.
I would. You know what? We need to win. We need to win. But after watching the Liverpool-Chelsea game yesterday, obviously we played like not the strongest team or whatnot, but that's a game where I feel like we should have been looking to get all 3 points.
100%.
Chelsea aren't in their best form right now, even with all the players that they have, all the money that they spent. So you would think then, because we're closer to Chelsea than we are to Arsenal, you would think then that we would play our best players, but we didn't. Arsenal have, in the form that they're in right now, you have a better chance of beating us at our lowest point. It is Anfield.
Yeah, no,
right?
no. I hear that.
It is Anfield.
I hear that.
There's the Anfield tax. So if you come, when you come over to Anfield, it just changes. Everything's different.
No,
right?
bro, I've
United
been there
felt it. You know what I mean?
Oh no, we know. They more than felt it.
They felt it, but at the same time, the week after we lost 2-0 to Bournemouth.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think I'll be happy with a draw, even though I want the 3 points. Do I think we're going to lose the game? No.
Cool. I think I remember you did say.
I don't think we'll lose the game. I'll say that.
I'm gonna swing the question over to you. Would you take a draw now?
You know what? That's a very good question. Now, I'm going to answer it by saying this.
Here comes the politics.
Up until last night, right, I would have taken a draw because let's face it, our record at Liverpool is not very good at all. In fact, it's pants.
Yeah.
We've not won there since 2012.
Yeah, we're going to get into that as well.
And Liverpool normally, let's face it, man, they normally smoke us. Yeah. Now, I saw Liverpool last week against City. They got turned over, even though they scored first. They played well for a bit, but then when City kicked into overdrive, City ended up smoking them. So that's that, yeah?
Yep.
I did the watch-along last night for DR Sport. Shout out to Abby, AGT, Doyle and Fuad. We did a watch-along last night, Chelsea versus Liverpool. And I watched Liverpool, and honestly, Cecil, I've said it to you off camera and to Moses, I was actually quite taken aback at how poor Liverpool were.
Horror show.
I do. There were some mitigation circumstances. They did rest some players, as Moses said. But when I watched them last night, I thought to myself, this is an excellent opportunity for Arsenal to go there and do something that they've not done since 2012.
Yep.
And I honestly believe that we got an excellent chance. So much so that, whereas I would have taken a point before, I want all 3 points, bro.
So you wouldn't take a draw now. You didn't answer.
It depends on how the
political that is like, you know, get around it.
Yeah.
And can we just get a poll?
What I'm basically saying is,
can we just get a poll in the chat as well
up.
to see if anyone would take a draw? Can we just get a poll in the chat as well to see if anyone else would take a draw, yes or no? But go on, Carol.
No, I want all 3. I think we are more than capable, and I don't want to come across as arrogant.
No, of course not. Yeah.
But seriously, the way we're playing right now, we're top of the table, we're shining, we're scoring goals for fun. I've spoken already about the vibe and the energy around the place. This Liverpool team is there for the taking. Yes, Van Dijk weren't playing. Yes, Salah was on the bench and Trent and people like that. But listen, man, there's never going to be a better time in recent memory for us to go to Liverpool.
What you lot did against United though is it's not like
that's our only saving grace for the entire season.
But it happens to us a lot. Not that, not 7. but it does happen. It does happen. We get beat
I can't
down.
see us losing. I cannot see Arsenal.
as well.
I cannot categorically say that we are going to beat Arsenal. I can say that I don't think we will lose, but in saying that, I'm only saying think. I'm not being matter of fact to say we won't lose.
It would take a dramatic turnaround.
Of course.
Because the thing is about Liverpool is that I was watching them yesterday, Cecil, and I said to you off camera, the quality of that game yesterday between them and Chelsea was very poor. And Chelsea were a better team. Let's have it right.
This is it.
Liverpool were unrecognisable.
I couldn't believe
it was a team that they were 2 years ago.
I tuned into the game, obviously an hour before the game, coming up with the team sheet.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing Gomez playing right back, Tsimikas. No disrespect to them, man. But it's not like Robertson is playing. And,
big drop off.
Massive drop off kind of thing. Matip, who I think is a very good player as well, but you know he's getting on with Konate at the back and then in the midfield Curtis Jones, he hasn't played many games. I'm looking at it like, are we just throwing it away? I don't get like.
They look tired as well.
Exactly that.
They look stale. Even Klopp, who's a real energy bunny, he's like you, Cecil, all over the place, jumping around.
All the little,
And I'm looking at Klopp, and he just looked bewildered on the touchline yesterday. He looked like he didn't have any answers. Now, what I would say is, right, we know what football can be like, especially at the highest level. The one thing I would say is that Liverpool will know, the players and the manager, the fans, they will know that was a very tepid performance from them yesterday. They were away. This Sunday, they'll be at home, you know, the old Anfield factor.
Yeah.
So they will be better, and, you know, there will be that backlash factor. They'll be saying, listen, man, they had the defeat against City, got the draw against Chelsea, although they were very fortunate.
Yeah.
So they want to put in a performance. It's a big game against us. Top of the table team coming into town. Liverpool will want to show out. But even so, bro, I'm still confident.
Okay, let me go into this because you're right. I watched the game yesterday as well. Like I said, it was a horror show. They should put Mark 18 on it because I don't know how people watch it.
Rated R.
Rated R. It was mad. But do you know what it is? What's crazy though? I looked at the stats after this morning. I was like, what? You had more shots on target than Chelsea. Then I saw like you have 1% more possession than them. I was like, this is bewildering because it looked like Chelsea just dominated you guys.
Yeah.
And I know you probably listened to the pundits after. If Chelsea had a good striker up top, it'd have been a completely different game. But it was bad. It filled me with confidence. But again, the Anfield tax for me is a bit of a worry. And I want to run through some of the last 10 at Anfield Arsenal results just quickly.
Just sit back and enjoy this one. You know?
This is the part you can. I always carry. All right, let me carry on. Obviously, you got a good record there so far this season. I think I believe you only lost one, and that was to Leeds. But against us, September 2012, we beat you guys 2-0. That was when Podolski and Cole Cazorla. But from then, Liverpool in 2014, 5-1 against Arsenal. 2-2 in 2014 as well in December, 3-3 in 2016. You beat us 3-1 in 2017, then you beat us 4-0 in 2017. 5-1, the 5-1 was painful still. 5-1 in 2018. 3-1 in, this is bad, 2019. I was at this one, the 2021, I believe I was at, the 3-1, I mean COVID. No, last year's November 2021, I was at the 4-0, where you beat us as well. So, the record ain't great. The
record's poor.
There's a couple draws.
Our record there is poor. Let's be honest.
It's terrible. Yeah. Since 2012. 2012 was 11 years ago.
Yeah. Well over a decade ago.
But as you said, if there's any time to beat us, it will be now, and I'm quite fearful of that.
Yeah.
Because we're on. You may not say a decline. It is a bit of a decline, but I do feel like we're in a transitional period right now. We lost one of our best players. In Sadio Mane,
yeah, of course.
Kind of thing. Of course, we brought in some new players with Gakpo, Nunes, all these guys.
Good players as well.
Very, very good.
I rate them.
But we just didn't fortify where we needed to fortify, which is obviously the midfield. We haven't got any legs. Naby Keita has only played. I couldn't tell you.
Naby who?
Last time. You know what I'm saying? Great. He was a great guy when he was playing in Germany, but when he hasn't really done anything in the Liverpool shirt, and he's leaving on the free at the end of the season.
Hendo, Milner's, you got
Milner servant to the club. Amazing
I don't know
professional.
How he does it, bro.
Honestly, amazing professional, but he shouldn't have to be coming on to play. He should be telling the youngers like, yo, back when I was playing at Leeds and them man, Villa and
that is an excellent point.
You know what I mean?
The mere fact that Milner is getting so much game time at Liverpool
so crazy
suggests to me that they've got problems.
Bro, it's probably like Arteta still playing on the side.
You know what I mean?
Pretty much.
Not seriously.
Literally.
But as confident as I'm sounding, and again, I hope I'm not coming across as overconfident or arrogant, because I can only go on what I'm seeing.
Of course.
And I respect Liverpool, so, you know what I mean? It is what it is. However, I saw the game against City. I can forgive them for that because City, when they kick into overdrive,
it's mad.
They're a force. But I saw Liverpool play against, let's be honest, man, a mediocre Chelsea team. Yeah, I mean, it was 8th versus 11th yesterday. That is a mid-table team.
That's brave,
you know what I mean?
City, man.
No, but it's true.
Mad, isn't it?
No, but it's true though.
Mid-table class, that sounds
And
mad.
even in spite of that, bro, the level of football that those two teams produced yesterday was shocking. So much so that I was genuinely taken aback as to how poor the amount of misplaced passes that were. Oh man, it was.
So what you said? You said they should. The title of this, they should fear us. Do you feel that from what you saw. You're going off what you saw yesterday. I'm very aware of this Anfield curse. I'm very aware of our record there, and the fact they've only lost one game at home. But are you on the mindset of, but they should fear us? Look how well we're doing. I mean, I read about the
I've listen. That title there is accurate because, but the way Liverpool are playing this season and the way we're playing. And the fact that Liverpool, let's face it, they're on an indifferent run of form. They will be worried about Arsenal.
But they
I'm telling you
turn
now.
on at Anfield.
Of course we can. But you know what? I'm very, very fearful of your left side. All right.
Yeah.
Reason
Martinelli
being,
and
you got Trossard and Martinelli, and if you were to, obviously Jesus is back as well. Jesus flows. Like I was saying to you off cam.
attacking line is
you know what I'm trying to say?
crazy.
I was saying to you off cam, Laurie, then I said that your players don't have set positions. They flow. Zinchenko pop up a right back, might pop up in the 10. Xhaka might be left back, and he also might. Other guys all over the place as well. The front three are always interchanging. Looking at Liverpool's defence this season, how bad we've been, because obviously we're not pressing from the front. There's not much energy. I feel like we're going to be chasing ghosts.
Yeah. Let me just read some of the super chats that are coming in quickly. Guna San 7 says, if we don't take all 3 points and get Klopp sacked at the end of that game, we didn't do our job. A poor Liverpool is there to be taken advantage of. Come on, you Gunners. Next one here from Delopo says, despite being on top, Arsenal don't have that fear factor like City or Man United. During Sir Alex Ferguson era or Mourinho at Chelsea, Arsenal will probably win the game though. Jay Ferreira, hope I'm pronouncing that right. Ferreira.
Don't
Jay,
sound like you did pronounce that right.
Federer Jay says, we'll be 2 points better off losing to Liverpool and drawing a Man City than drawing at Liverpool and losing to Man City. Beating West Ham, Southampton and holding Man City to a draw is what matters. Interesting.
Hey, listen, watching Liverpool last night, you know, last week when everyone watched Joshua and they said, "Raw, I can't believe how he's gone back." It was like that.
Yeah.
I hear that.
Watching Liverpool last night was like watching Anthony Joshua.
Well, do you feel sad? Did it feel sad? You watch it and think, wow,
not in a way sad. I'm just looking at them. Like I said, they look unrecognisable to the team. Remember when Salah, Mane,
yeah, great. That's what I'm saying. You
Firmino
look on that and think, wow, what happened?
But
I just think that they're going for a poor run of form. There's a real lack of confidence. You can see that. I mean, look at, so for example, Nunes, who I do rate as a good player. Okay, there was a couple of times yesterday when he had the ball in dangerous positions, and his first touch and his decision making wasn't quite there. And I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, those are the classic hallmarks of a player that's lacking in confidence.
Yeah.
And that was, you could see that throughout the team.
I mean, he was taking shots from about like 20, 25. Those are the shots that were on target for us, right? But there was one comment that you read out the sense saying, talking about that Arsenal haven't got that the fear factor that that United had when they had Fergie and City have. I think I don't necessarily agree with that. I feel like people only think that right now because it's quite brand new, it's quite fresh.
Agreed.
And the players are quite young, right? These are players that, aside from Zinchenko, Partey and Jesus, haven't really won many titles in a sense, right? And I feel like obviously people, when they think about like Alex Ferguson's United and Pep's City, you attribute like titles with those teams and those players. But for me, as a football fan, so taking off my Liverpool hat right now, as a football fan, watching Arsenal play, I'm like, yo, there's some really good football, and they're scoring goals with it too. So they have all the attributes for us to be worried about and fearful of.
I think approach is going to be vital on Sunday. Arsenal's approach to the game. We want to go there, and it's not that we're not going to show Liverpool no respect. We have to respect them. We can't go there with reckless abandon. However, if we can impose ourselves from the start fast, I reckon we can do good things there, man.
But in saying that, who starts for the front three?
Yeah,
that's a well, we got options, right?
That's the question everyone's pondering right now amongst us.
Got man in form.
That's why Trossard's in form, Martinelli's in form. Jesus scored 2 goals last game. Saka, he comes in and out of form, but mainly been in form for the whole season. One of your best players.
He's consistent.
He's consistent. Yeah. Odegaard's obviously always going to play, but that front three position, I don't know.
To me, Jesus has got to play. After his 2 goals last week, the way his
But
energy.
Trossard before that was getting
yeah.
of assists, and he scored at Anfield hat-trick last time he played. Like,
You're
you
right.
gotta remember that. But then you can't say Martinelli drop him because he's a top goal scorer and he's bagging.
Well, we're spoilt for choice.
And no one's dropping Saka. I mean, if
Saka will not
available-
be dropped.
Exactly. So then,
But what I'm saying is, I'm making the case for Jesus to start, and I'll tell you why. Because Jesus, you saw it last week. He has that level of trickery with him. He can unlock defenses. Look at last week, when we played Leeds. Let's be honest. The first 25, 30 minutes, we were not at our best. Gabriel Jesus spearheaded that win last week.
Yep.
He won us the penalty and he converted it. If you remember that little bit of skill, the bit of trickery in the box there, very few players have got that. Jesus has that. And that's the type of player that you need when you go to a place like Liverpool.
Yeah, for sure.
And you want to be on the front foot. He can make things happen. Not to say that Trossard can't, but
so you
Jesus
so you dropping? Stop saying that.
All I'm saying, Jesus must start.
No. Who would you? Give me your front three.
I might have to. You know what? I'm going to go Jesus and have Martinelli in because of Martinelli's pace.
Yeah.
And the fact that he will be very aggressive and
Always plays well against Liverpool.
put Robertson and them man on the back foot.
But me being a Liverpool fan, I'm not a deluded fan. I will say
agree with
you
that.
do have things to worry about.
Oh, yeah,
on the other
absolutely.
way.
Yeah.
So you got Mo Salah.
Talk about
Mo
go on,
Salah
talk-
right now is on 11 goals,
Yeah, he is,
and this
that's
is one
man.
of his probably worst seasons
seasons.
at Liverpool.
He has to be respected.
He has to be.
100%.
Then there's also
deny that.
Nunes, who Fuad likes to call like the king of chaos.
Yeah, he does.
That's the term for him. He can cause problems, and we've seen them two link up before. Gakpo when he likes to drop in deep, Jota as well, really great in the air. You guys remember? It was the last season at
Jota is
at
just,
Emirates when he.
Jota that
You
always
know what I'm trying to say?
against
No,
us.
listen, you guys have got borders.
We've got players
I
as
wouldn't
well.
sit here for 1 minute and say that you're not, or you don't have good players. What I'm saying is you're not playing very well at
No,
the
of
moment.
course not. Yeah,
So now the time is right. Strike while the iron is hot.
as the saying goes.
You know what I mean? Like I said, it's not a matter of going there and showing fear. You show respect, but you also go there knowing that you're playing the better football right now. You're ahead of them in the league by some distance, and you try and make that count, man.
Yeah, we got to go into the game with confidence. The players 100% got to go with confidence. It's not naive confidence we saw happen last time when Arteta and Klopp got into a bit of a madness. Before then, Anfield was quiet. Since it happened, it started getting very loud, and that's when Liverpool kind of took the game into their own hands. So we've got to be aware of that. We have a super chat here from Rich Turen says it doesn't matter which 3 or 4, the fourth will still get on the pitch at some point. So
That's
he's saying
true.
regardless,
That's true.
they'll be seen.
I hear it.
I do want to come over to Moses and ask him just quickly. I asked yesterday. I was on live with Turkish and I mentioned about Liverpool being in free fall, and I just said, "What are Liverpool fans' thoughts on that? What's Turkish thoughts on that?" And he thinks they are, but I don't think they are. Do you feel like they are? Do you feel like that that there's still a chance to grab European football this season, whether that's Europa League, Europa Conference, or top 4 might be out the window? I don't know.
I wouldn't say that it's a free fall. I would just say it's the end of a cycle.
Right.
Essentially, I feel like every single team goes through it. Obviously, some teams have been able to sustain their cycle for like a decade, like United were able to do, or City be able to do it for like 5-6 years now, kind of thing, right? Our one only lasted tops 5 years, 4 or 5 years, right? As I said before, we lost a key player. Midfield has aged. We are going through a transitional period. Do I think we will get some form of Europe this season? We could potentially get Europa League because the teams above us are still battling it out. We've got a game to hand on Tottenham as well, whatnot. But do I want Europe next season?
That was my next question, Moses. Do you want to go through a proper rebuild and just look at 1 game a week and be out of that top 7? Or do you want to be still in Europe and it kind of slows down the progression when it comes to
From a
rebuilding?
financial standpoint, you always want to be in Europe.
Of course.
I'm not sure if we're going to finish top 4. And if we don't finish top 4 for the Champions League spot, I don't want to do Europa League. I don't want to do Europa Conference. Do Europa Conference. I feel like it's a slap in the face as a Liverpool fan, where we have such
good European heritage.
6 Champions Leagues, bro. You know what I'm trying to say? I've seen 2 of them in my own eyes, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Right?
I like that.
So, like, again, I feel like if it's not Champions League football, we need to rebuild. Of course, we won't be able to attract some of the players that a lot of us fans have identified that we want to bring in, for example, Jude Bellingham.
Yep.
But Liverpool, I think, is a big enough club, and Klopp's a manager with enough pull to still bring in good players, and we still have good players there.
I agree with that. If he doesn't come, Jude Bellingham, will that hurt you? Do you feel like Liverpool is the best place for him to come, or you just bought into the whole ideology of, you know, him out with the players and that Chris Brown with him? Or as I see him with all the Liverpool players. But
Jude Bellingham can fit into any team in the top 6 of the Premier League right now. Yeah,
I will take him.
Yeah, of course. And he's a player that we really need. He's also a player that you guys could also need.
Yeah.
You'll probably start on your team. United could need. Do I think we will get him now with our owners going through a transitional period as well? Our owners are trying to sell the club. Will they fork out 110 million for Jude Bellingham without Champions League football? Probably not.
Yeah,
Probably not.
that's a
And
big factor.
Bellingham could end up going to Real Madrid or whatever kind of thing. He has that kind of quality. So it does hurt me that we've identified a player that would obviously make us better.
Yeah,
But-
need it.
but we can't get him. We can't really get our hands on him. And another player that I identified, I feel like we'd be good in our team would be Moises Caicedo,
Yeah.
even though he just signed a
chill.
new deal.
Yeah. You're talking on AFTV, you know. Do you know how much man wanted Caicedo in the chat? Don't do that. You're gonna rattle some of us.
I'm sorry, but as you guys have seen, all your fans have seen, he's a great player.
Yeah, of course.
Right? Of course, I know he signed a new deal at Brighton, whatnot, but then in football these days, signing new deals don't really mean much unless you're Harry Kane and 7-year deals and then. But yeah,
I do agree with a lot what Moses says here, especially when he talked about football at the top level. Anyway, it's a cycle, it's cyclical, and what they always say, and Moses will know this more than anyone, is that you build from a position of strength.
Sure.
And looking at Liverpool, looking at them yesterday, I think that they paid the price for not strengthening the squad in the summer. They still have some very good players there. I mean, Van Dijk didn't play yesterday, but I mean, the likes of Salah, Trent, people like that. There's quite a long list. I won't name them all out, but
Thiago's
they have
injured.
quality players.
Yeah.
Thiago, they've got quality players there. But I must say that yesterday, and even when I watched them at the weekend, last weekend, there's an element of staleness in that Liverpool team.
Yeah.
They look a bit tired, man. And as I said, to me, they look like a team that's there for the taking as far as Arsenal's concerned. Now, we know what football can be like, man. It's very unforgiving. It's shark-infested waters.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, you could turn up at Liverpool on Sunday and all of a sudden they got their mojo back, the crowd's on top of it, and they feed off that, and then all of a sudden, we're in a tough game.
Yeah.
Especially if Liverpool get off to a good start. That being said, I am very confident. Not overconfident, but confident. And I think that now is the time, the way we're playing, the fact that these guys like Jesus are coming back into the team with so much effervescence, ready to go. You saw the 2 goals he scored the other day. You saw how disappointed he was to come off. Man looked vexed.
Yeah,
Last
he's
week
on a
when
hat trick.
Arteta
Yeah,
took him off.
I would be vexed.
You know
He's on
what
a
I
hat
mean?
trick. Of course.
And the fact that we're top of the table, the energy, the vibe, as I suppose, the spirit. I can't see us losing.
If
bro.
we
I
win,
can't.
Laurie, what does it change for you? Because I spoke to fans today and they were saying, if we get 3 points at Anfield, the league. He goes. One of them was like, I believe, but that is it. That's for me. It's
No,
it's
well,
done.
no, I wouldn't go that far.
You don't.
I don't think
Just
the
like
league's
if
in the
we
bag,
was to
CBS.
lose,
Yeah.
just like if we was to lose, I still wouldn't have that knee-jerk reaction. Oh, the title's over.
You still have.
We still have a little bit of wiggle
leeway.
room.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
We're 8 points clear, game in hand. Okay, let's say it's 5 points then. Yeah?
If the City, yeah.
So we could conceivably lose the game, although I don't see it happening. It's conceivable that we could go to Liverpool and lose and would still end up winning the title.
True, it's possible. It's definitely possible. I want to speak about the referee, and I'm not. I'm not Thai, and I don't always like to focus in on referees, but there is a big factor come Sunday's game of the referee in charge, and that is Paul Tierney. Before I get into the referee, just to let you guys know, there was a poll on. 1,000 of you have voted in it. 78% say that Arsenal will win the game come Sunday. 11% say it will be a draw, and then 11% also say that Liverpool will win.
How much did we win? 78.
78%.
Wow.
Obviously, we're on an Arsenal channel as well. It kind of makes sense. But yeah, so that was the percentage. And please hit the like button. I mean, you can click the button when you
That's
chose
still a
to
high
vote in a
number.
poll. Please click the like button now. That is a high number.
Nearly 80%. 4 out of 5.
100%.
Wow.
You did just see Paul Turney pop up on your screen there. I'm just going to read you some information why people are focusing, especially online. You'll see a lot of hysteria around Paul Turney and why it's so significant him being a ref come Sunday. So, lost the last 5 matches when Paul Turney has reffed an Arsenal match. Most recent defeat was against City in the FA Cup, which I believe we had a very good game in. We just lost out. We played him very well there. He ruled out the Gabriel Martinelli's goal at Old Trafford when we lost to Man United this season. Pagan. Sent off Holding against Spurs at the Lane. I'm sure you guys remember that, the elbow, and he was one to send him off. And then lastly, the last win with him as a referee when refereeing the Arsenal game was in February 2021 against Leicester City. So, listen, I'm not one to always look at refs. I've been a player. We don't always focus on refs, but I see why there's such, conversation about it online.
The stats don't lie, innit?
The stats don't lie. I mean, it doesn't favour us. Anfield doesn't favour us either. You've got a good record currently this season at Anfield. We haven't. We've got a ref now that I never really bought into this referee stuff, but the more you watch football every week and the more you hear stories from players and stuff, you think there's something going on. I don't want to do the conspiracy thing too much, but it doesn't bode well for us.
I mean, looking in as someone that's not an Arsenal fan, and obviously a fan of football, of course, when you see your team is so close to attaining something you haven't attained in 20 years.
Yeah.
Is it 20 years?
19, yeah, well, 2019 if you want to round it up, yeah. Ouch, thanks.
Sorry. No, we had 30.
Yours was 30,
I was a 30, and I'm 26 right now, you know what I mean?
I hear it. At least you know.
But when you're so close to attaining something that you haven't had in a very long time, and then you see that come towards the business end of the season, of course your mind's gonna start playing tricks like, it's written that they've got it against us. It's not just Arsenal fans, obviously other fans as well. They talk about referees. Referees have been poor this season. We've seen a lot of decisions, even with VAR, that you think, how did you guys come to this decision? But again, you can only do what you can at the end of the day. If you guys score enough goals, you can't really you know what I mean? You can't chalk it off to be ref. I hate Arsenal, so I'm not going to count this goal, kind of thing, you know?
Of course.
So it all depends on the players. Of course, the ref can make decisions that can ruin the game as well. We've seen that before in football. You've seen it personally with him.
Yeah.
But man, just got to focus on the game, really.
Yeah, it bodes well for you, man. Yeah,
for me, either way, I'm fine. You know what I mean? I'm fine either way.
Yeah, for us, it's a bit stressed. Do you subscribe to the theory
I don't,
of the ref? You've always been a man that's just
I don't.
Forget
listen,
that.
if you look at those stats and what you said there in isolation, if you purely look at the stuff you said about Paul Tierney and every time he's reffed us recently and blah, 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 then there's a certain amount of paranoia from Arsenal fans going to kick in. However, I prefer not to be that negative. I think what you read out there was just a series of coincidences. And I'm not going to get too taken by that. I tend to look at how we're playing.
I'm sure he's from Manchester as well. Sorry, I know I'm adding that in, but I'm sure he is because I remember the United thing. I remember them saying, he's from Manchester or near Manchester. So, and these are little things, little details. He might want City to win the league.
Really and truly, I don't think as Arsenal fans we should get too bogged down by stuff like that.
No.
Those are just a litany of coincidences as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't mean much. I'm not going to question the integrity of the referee like that. And it's down to the players, as Moses said. Yeah. It's down to the players. They go there on Sunday. It's in their hands. So we need to take the referee out of the equation. Yes, referees can and will make mistakes. They're human. And we have been on the wrong end of a couple of decisions this season. But by the same token, we've also had a few go our way. Yeah. And I'm one of those people who tend to think that over the course of a season, especially for the bigger clubs, things tend to level out. I was saying this to you and Moses off camera. I think that some of the clubs at the lower end of the spectrum, they have more legitimate beefs about the referees because what you tend to find, and it's just human nature,
I agree with
that in games, referees will slightly favour the bigger clubs. There's no question that does happen. So I'm not going to make the referee be a big issue, to be honest. It's down to
100%.
the players.
The players have to get the job done first and foremost. Right, we are coming towards kind of the close of the show. I do want to bring up the Premier League table for you guys. Sorry, just to remind everyone, it's always nice to look at the Premier League table and what's going on in it. Obviously, Chelsea not in the top 10, but we do see Liverpool there. They're sitting in 8th, obviously out of the European positions with 42 points. Arsenal's, oh my lord, 72. So with 30. Sorry.
Made that 72 word again.
30 points ahead of.
We've got a game in hand though, and you.
Yeah, no, don't just scraping at the barrel. 30 points ahead of them. Obviously, goal difference is important for us right now. We're still only 2 goals behind Man City, so it's important.
So what you're saying that we can go there and tonk Liverpool?
No,
Is that what you're saying?
Put up your goal difference.
I'm not saying
I was overconfident.
I'm not being arrogant, overconfident. I'm just saying goals will matter in
They
this
will
game,
matter.
and it's we should go for we should go to score goals, not just sit back and this Anfield
people
fear.
want
I don't want to
yeah.
see that. I want them to go out and express themselves because we've all said it. Arsenal playing the best football in the league right now, so go and show that. I'm aware of the Anfield record, but I don't think the players should be fearful of that. Go and do your job.
One good thing about having young players that they're quite fearless, right? They'll go out. Martinelli, he's in the form of his life right now.
Facts.
Saka, the form of his life right now. Jesus is buzzing to be back. Trossard also has in the form of his life as well. They're not gonna fear going to Anfield. They're gonna want to win. Like, yo, the title's in our
true.
grasp.
It's not like they've never been there before now.
Exactly that. But you guys know, as well as I know, that on the counter, we are devastated.
Yeah, no, for true.
Yeah,
So you could like
that's true.
You can be.
I'll never forget the game.
You can
was it, Bellerin was playing and Mo Salah's gone over the top from your corner.
Exactly what you're talking about, yeah.
We've gone straight.
And just
And Bellerin is fast as well, by the way.
no,
Back in
but
the
he
day.
made him look very slow.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? And that was just like one ball, well, one pass over the top, gone, kind of thing. And that's all it takes for us to be in a game, right? And to win a game, really. We did it against United with a 7-0.
Yeah, fair. No, we're aware.
So, yeah.
Guys,
But then the following week, you couldn't beat ball.
How about we don't do that? We don't do that.
love for saving me on that one. Saving us on that one.
dude.
Listen, that is it. We have reached the end of the show. Thank
You're not
you.
going to ask us my prediction.
All right, if you want to go on, tell us your prediction. End it with your. We'll do all our predictions. Actually, I don't do my prediction. You do your prediction. Go.
I'm going Arsenal by 2 clear goals. In fact, I'm going to go 3-1 because I think Liverpool will score. But I think that we've got goals in us. And as I said, I'm pretty confident without being overconfident.
I'm going to go 2-2. Saka first scorer. Put down your bets if you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Saka, I feel like he will show up. And Martinelli. But
Yep.
yeah, 2-2.
2-2.
I believe my guy Salah, even though sometimes he rubs me the wrong way. But
Yeah. I'm gonna go with 3-2. I wasn't near my score prediction. I'll go 3-2. Trossard, Jesus, and Saka. They're gonna be on the score sheet. If Jota plays, Jota's gonna score. He always scores.
true.
But Salah as well. But yeah, 3-2. It'll be an emphatic game. I'm gonna be there, and I can't wait
Yeah, you're one of the lucky ones.
to
yeah?
see us. Yeah, I can't wait to see us hopefully take the W. That'd be amazing. But anyway, listen, Laurie, thank you for joining me.
Thank you, bro.
It's been a pleasure. Moses,
thanks for having me. It's my
My
debut
brother.
today, but debut.
Davey, you will be back. You should be back. I hope I'll be able to bring you on a lot more, especially when it comes to big games like this. Arsenal vs Liverpool, always a huge fixture. Guys, check out all the content coming your way from AFTV in the build up to the game. There's loads of content coming out. So keep your eyes peeled, hit the notification bell so you know when we're uploaded. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe if you're new. Actually, like the video, yeah? Like this video, please.
Please.
Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you again very soon. Take care, everyone.
Peace.